So hello and a very good afternoon YouTube, and today's vlog is going to be the most talked about topic, most questioned topic in the world. Okay, which one do you buy, the Triumph Bonneville or the Interceptor 650, and which one is worth it? तो हमारे अदनान भाई आज चला रहे हैं बॉनी भाई, ज़रा सलाम बोलना था पूरों को. तो आई विल बी राइडिंग दिस फॉर हाफ वे and then I'll switch on to that one from midway so that I can give you guys a better idea के, because of course as you all know that thing is thrice as expensive as this. तो ये चलाने के बाद वो चला के भाई is it really thrice the bike when it comes to performance and other aspects. So without further ado, let's begin. So as you all know, काफ़ी लोडेड गाड़ी है अपनी Interceptor. It's not stock. I run mortal engine oil, fully synthetic. I run NGK plugs, and उसके अलावा the music system and the exhaust and dun. So let's go. So let's start off with the Interceptor 650. Starting with the price. So this thing is priced at around 3 lakhs on road roughly. So this thing is priced at around 3 lakhs on road. वो अलग अलग स्टेट के हिसाब से अलग अलग है, but on road price is what we'll be discussing here. 3 lakhs, I think that's fucking absolutely fantastic value for money. That's primarily the reason I bought this bike. भाई थोड़ा distance ले लो. That's primarily the reason I got this bike, because for this price, the equipment they are giving, damn. So let's start off with the equipment. ABS, steel braided brake lines, a 650cc parallel twin which sounds sweet with an exhaust, without an exhaust, mixed opinions, but yeah, apart from that, around 47 horsepower, and it's lightweight. It's developed by a European company called Harris Racing, who helped in developing the chassis for this bike. So quite a lot of engineering has gone into the bike. खाली अपना purely देसी product नहीं है ये. And Royal Enfield is very serious with this product, this and the Continental GT 650, because they're targeting this at the international market, which I think is simply sweet. So yep, what do you get for 3 lakhs? A very nice classic looking bike. Looks are subjective, but yeah, I feel that this bike just looks absolutely fantastic. It looks very nice, very sweet, very well made. It's got a lot of space and to mount your accessories and stuff, and it's very simplistic yet modern in a way. I love the brakes, especially the handling and the brakes. They're fantastic, and power is zabardast because of the lightweight. It's around 203 204 kilos. For that weight, the engine is more than enough, and the suspension, गद्दे का था चलती गाड़ी. I know it doesn't have that fancy Pauli shocks and all that, but trust me, it doesn't need it, because this is not a race bike. It's more of a comfortable cruise your way through, chill the fuck out bike. So for that, this suspension just works like a charm. It's a lot more than needed. And I think for that price, Enfield has just nailed it. And Enfield का सबसे बड़ा advantage ये है कि the service backup, it's amazing. You got literally Enfield की service backup तो आपको almost हर गाँव कोने में मिल जाती. The spares are very cheap. The maintenance is very less. I know it might be a little more compared to the other like classic 500 and Thunderbird 500 kind of models. But for a 650cc parallel twin which keeps up with a lot of super bikes, you all know I've had this for around 4 months now. 5,000 kilometers चला लिया मैं. This thing is absolutely amazing. I go to even super bike meets and all on this. कभी mood बना तो. So this thing absolutely has no problems keeping up with that. The only complaints I have are a little bit with the quality. I mean, for that price I cannot really complain, but still I wish the chrome on this bike especially could have been a lot more better. वो department में ज़रा आपने को there's quite a lot of rusting that happens in Gupat places, and the chrome, it doesn't give that shiny chromey feel which you get on the Triumph. Of course the Triumph is more expensive, but then again थोड़ा ज़रा chrome के department में उन्हें मार खा गया. The ergonomics, the comfort, the accessory lineup, it's, I mean, It's really good. And the only one more thing, this bike comes with 18-inch tires, and what I feel, the tire sizes could have been a little wider, because of that taller and not so wide footprint. कभी ऐसा रोड पे white line आ गए या कभी कुछ ऐसा गड़े वड़े आ गए, so the bike quite easily loses balance. Otherwise it's a very stiff and nice bike, but sometimes when there's quite a lot of कभी रोड ऊपर नीचे है या वो रोड पे लाइना बने हुए हैं, हवा हटो चिचा दियों क्या डिचा. Sounds sweet. I only think they should have given 17-inch tires, and then again it's not tubeless, as you all know. वो सब जनों को तकरीबन जनों को स्पोक का लुक पसंद है, but I personally prefer to go with alloys because they are more easy. I think aftermarket, as in all Enfields, is going to be shitloads and shitloads of accessories available later on, so we'll just switch to alloys or a tubeless kit later on. And also 17-inch with wider tire sizes, as in on the Triumph. The wider tire sizes do make a lot of difference to the handling of the bike, because this thing is quite powerful. It's very very powerful. 170 भी मारती है ना आराम से. मैं खुद 160 लेके गया without a sweat. But there's not a super bike wherein you have to do acceleration tests and all. As I said, it's a very relaxed, very nice bike. It gives amazing mileage. 25 के ऊपर दे रही है आराम से. 500 का भरा और भूल जाओगा शॉर्ट है इसमें. So that way this is my daily rider and I feel it's very sweet. अब देखो 6th gear में in these lower RPMs just feels so addictive and so smooth. मेरी R1 से ज़्यादा इसको चला रहा हूँ मैं, so you guys know. So anyways, yeah, that's about it for the Interceptor. Now we'll move on to the Bonnie. So now getting on to the Bonnie. So as you all know, mine was a 2019 Interceptor 650 and this is a 2014 Bonneville T100. So quite fit for comparison. So let's start off with the best gimmick I feel on the bike. That's with the Idli. Bhai, assalamualaikum. Khairiyat. So this comes with an aftermarket seat. The exhaust is stock, but अंदर के baffles निकाल दिए गए हैं. And a few little gimmicks on this bike, like the disc instead of here it's there, chain sprocket यहाँ है, and you have really nice fake carburetors which look very nice and retro. Both of these are legendary bikes. They've got quite a lineage. So 30s, 40s से. But what I like about this bike is the location of the key. It's right here. So let's go. So the first thing you notice as soon as you get onto the Bonnie is how heavy it feels. I mean, it's like normally आप and the backfire. So yeah, soon as you get onto the Bonnie after riding the Interceptor, you just kind of feel the heft of this bike. This is a heavier bike, almost 10-20 kilos heavier than the Interceptor, and it feels in everything. The tank is slightly bigger, the handles are wider, and the reach to the handles is also slightly forward. So this is more of a highway focused bike than city, because the Interceptor is a lot more comfortable in city. Not saying that inane comfortable hai. This is also very comfortable, but yeah, this feels a lot more heavy and planted and meant for the highway. It soaks up bumps and also really nicely. So let's start off with the price of this bike. Back when it was new and also now, it's more or less the same. करीबन 8 से 9 लाख के आसपास पड़ेंगे आपको ये with the basic Bonnie for a slightly lesser, the T100, which is slightly higher spec, for around 50k to 1 lakh more. And then you have the T120, which is 1200cc. That is again priced slightly higher. So what all do you get for that price? I mean, when you get the Interceptor 650, 3 lakhs on road, in almost 9 lakh on road, you're paying almost thrice the price, double bhi nahi. Is it really 3 times the bike? Not really. 3 times the bike would be an understatement. But let's start off with why I would, or anyone would choose a Bonnie over a Interceptor. Starting off, the first things first, quality and brand recognition. I mean, this is Triumph we're talking about here, guys. Fucking British legendary with एकदम वो ट्रम्प बोलते नाम से पब्लिक कोमा हो जाती. And not to mention how rare the bike is. हमारे असद भाई भी चलाते हैं गाड़ी. असद भाई has a Bonnie and a Tiger as well, so you know that gives this thing a lot of brand value here in Hyderabad and also all over the world. I'm sure Tom Cruise fucking rides one of these in a lot of movies. It's in a lot of Hollywood movies. Triumph hai, the brand name, the brand value, and the quality on this. I mean, the quality of the plastics. You just feel that everything feels well made, well engineered, well built. Not saying that the Enfield has cheap quality, but this does feel a lot more premium than that. यानी मतलब अगर उन्हें बैचलर्स पड़ी हुई है तो ये गाड़ी समझो आप जरा लंदन जाके ज़बरदस्त मास्टर्स करके आए समझो. So you know, you get that reference, right? This thing just feels a lot more premium and well built than that one, especially the chrome on this one. Ba आपकी सूरत दिखती है भाई इसके chrome में. That is something you don't get on the Enfield. But then for that price point, chalo, okay, you're paying almost thrice the amount, and then you don't get to see these much on the road. It's a rarity. This Triumph rare gaadi hai, brand value hai, whereas Interceptor now, when I got it, it was quite rare, but slowly I see a lot and lots of them on the road, and I'm sure that number is only gonna keep increasing with time. So like exclusivity nahi rehti with the Interceptor. That is a problem for some people like me. That's why I'll just use it for 6 months a year, and then when it gets too common, I'll just sell it off, get a Harley or a Triumph. Apart from that, now coming on to the performance. Now this bike's engine is slightly bigger. It's got an 865cc unit, this specific model. You know, both of them are oil cooled and pretty much the same firing order almost. They sound very similar, but this Triumph, it does sound quite a lot heavier and throatier and meatier. You know, this got a more classic bike kind of tone to it. Now this thing has an aftermarket air filter and the exhausts have their baffles removed, so it sounds slightly throaty. But I feel with an aftermarket exhaust like the Interceptor, both will almost sound the same. But this has, I feel, a slightly higher compression ratio. That's why its engine feels slightly more torquier, punchier. Not to mention the fucking backfires this thing gives. Those you don't get in the Interceptor. Arey kholo bhai. So you just rev it, leave the throttle and LA. Hear that? Yeah, that's the backfire I'm talking about. So this thing is slightly faster than the Interceptor 650. You don't feel like, you know, that blazingly fast hai ya over superbike kaisa nikal ja rahi. Yes, it is more powerful than the Interceptor because yeah, it's more expensive. But other than that, the engine's quite a lot bigger, almost 200cc bigger, and it's got a higher compression ratio and all of those things. Braking, suspension, everything on this feels almost similar to the Interceptor, apart from this being big. So basically, agar comparison mein dekha jaye, to this is like the more elder and sophisticated brother of the Interceptor 650. Whereas Interceptor 650, like I said, yahi local mein masters pad li, but this thing it went to London and zara ekdam matlab posh, polished tarike se, you know, masters kar leke aaye. Now that begs the question. This thing is of course very high on maintenance. Triumph का maintenance काफ़ी ज़्यादा है. Triumph का maintenance is quite a lot. The parts are very expensive. The accessories are very expensive. Service backup is not as good as the Royal Enfield. It's still considered a very premium. It's a very premium brand. So service backup way. But then on the other side, this thing is a lot well built. It's a lot better quality. All in all, this thing won't fail you as much as a Royal Enfield. I mean, the Interceptor till now 5,000 kilometers, it's not given me many issues. but we'll only find out in the long run. Triumph on the other hand, it's quite a reliable bike, so you don't need the spares and service backup that often like on the Enfield. But then again, coming on to the question, is it really thrice the bike? No, I don't think so. I mean, see, it all depends on the kind of rider you are, the kind of customer you are, the kind of bike you're looking for. Now, if you're just looking for something to ride and in that price point, I think Enfield has really killed it with their pricing and with, you know, everything they have to offer in that pricing. Apart from a few things which we can't really complain. I feel if Royal Enfield charges, मतलब समझो एक 1 लाख एक्स्ट्रा चार्ज करके उन्हें थोड़ा प्रीमियम वर्जन निकाला ना इंटरसेप्टर का, दैट थिंग वुड एब्सोल्युटली फकिंग नेल दिस थिंग इन द नट्स. But then coming on to the Triumph, you know, why would someone buy a Triumph? Like I said, it's a lot more exclusive, it's a lot more premium, it feels a lot more better. It's not thrice the bike, but then again, you're paying so much for the brand name and the brand quality and all of that. So which is the better bike? I feel both are quite similar. I mean, the Enfield पे आप थोड़ा खर्चा करेंगे तो it'll even perform better than this one. Now you have a lot of big bore kits and all as well for that bike, so it's quite tunable. And best part, if you want to buy a bike that you want to customize, go for the Enfield because it won't break your bank. उसकी चेसी काटने से पहले दो बार सोचना नहीं पड़ता आपको. Whereas on the Triumph, you don't want to mess around with anything because it's too expensive to maintain, to ride and everything else. So I guess that's about it. I think I've answered most of the questions. Mileage be almost similar hai. This thing gives slightly lesser mileage, but then like I mentioned, the tires on this, the 17-inch के ऊपर जो चौड़े टायर हैं ना, they make a lot of difference to the way this thing rides and feels on the highway. It's very stable. गड़ों में आसानी से unstable नहीं होती. I think that's probably the next modification which I'm gonna do on my Interceptor. Gonna get a set of 17-inch wide tires on it and see how it fares. And of course, you won't find those typical rusting and other problems on this bike which you face in the Enfield, because of course it's a Triumph, it's well built, the wheel bearings, the steering stem bearings. Enfield ka thoda hai, by end of the day it is still an Indian product, so you know you'll feel some quality issues. I think because it's an international product now, there'll be a lot of international manufacturers making aftermarket stuff for it. So I think जब वो आएंगे, I'll switch to those. You know, हर चीज़ का एक जुगाड़ है. अब इतना पैसा में इतना ही मिलेगा. So you can buy a used Bonneville for around 3.5-4 लाख में आपको decent गाड़ी मिल जाती, और 3 लाख में आपको नई Interceptor मिलती 2019 शोरूम से. So again, I think you guys should ride both of these and choose which one is better for you. So I guess that's about it. Thank you for watching, and I hope I answered most of your questions. And yeah, I think you guys are loving the new audio and video setup on my channel. Inshallah, we'll be looking at a lot more videos and helpful comparos for you guys. So thank you for watching, and go ahead, test ride both of these and give me your verdict on which one do you think is a better bike. Bye bye.